Living on my sofa, drinking rum and cola underneath the rising sun. I could give 1,000 reasons why, but you're going, and you know that all you have to do is stay a minute.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I just wanted to do a video today about the miscarriage that I had this month. I guess you could call it that. I kind of have mixed feelings about the whole situation and everything that happened. So I decided that I'm just going to do a video about it to, see what other people may think, and just to raise some type of awareness about, miscarriage and pregnancy loss and things like that, because it's very uncertain a lot of times. Okay, so pretty much I found out I was pregnant probably the end of last month or the beginning of this month, whatever. So I went to the doctor and they confirmed that I was pregnant. They took their own pregnancy test, whatever. So I went home and I was all happy. I was very excited to be having another baby with my husband. I was so happy, and I'm like, babe, oh my God. We were picking up names. So our baby's name was going to be Nova, and I love that name. I won't name any of my other children that, because I feel like that was that child's name, and I feel that to take that name away and to give that name to another baby, like my baby's just being replaced, wouldn't be right at all. Okay, so pretty much I had some spotting probably about a few days after I got the confirmation from the doctor that I was pregnant. I had some spotting or whatnot. So at that point, I went to the emergency room and I saw two doctors first, and they did an ultrasound and they didn't see my baby. But they tried to say, it could be early or whatnot. So just don't worry, And then they also were telling me all at the same time that it could have been a miscarriage, or, something, maybe the baby stopped growing. It could be a lot of stuff. It was a lot of factors that came into play. So, I cried. I was really sad. I called my husband to come be with me or whatever. I was in the ER. I had my kids with me. So I had to call someone anyway. So then I go down to radiology. My husband met me there. They wanted me to get another ultrasound, which was kind of weird. I did a abdominal ultrasound and a transvaginal ultrasound. There still was no baby, but they kept saying it could just be early. So then when I get back upstairs, I was there for a while, and eventually the doctor that I originally saw came down, and he's like, we want you to see another doctor. So this woman comes into the room probably a while later, and she's just so sure that maybe it's early. She just wanted to do another exam. There was no bleeding. There was no bleeding when the original doctor checked either. There was no more bleeding. So whatever spotting I had was only for that moment. So She's told me to just go into the clinic 2 days later to see if my numbers doubled. My numbers at that time was, I believe it was 480. So within the 2 days, I went to get my levels checked again. They took blood. They did an emergency lab. So within 2 hours, I had my results back. So I my levels only went to 500 and something. So that kind of just wasn't good for me, and it really hurt me that my levels only went there. So yes. I'm sorry. This is like really hard for me because I I was really excited, and then within a week to have something ripped out from under you, it's like horrible. It's really horrible. So, okay, I spoke to a doctor, and I remember her because she even got really emotional when she was giving me my news and everything. And she was just like, they were worried it could be a topic because of the numbers, because the levels were so low. But I decided, and I'm like, no, I'm going to wait at least 2 more days. Just give me 2 more days so that I could come back and maybe everything will be okay. Maybe my numbers won't double or triple or something. I had so much faith, and I had so much hope that was eventually lost. So eventually, that day, she was just explaining to me all of these procedures that they could give me just to make sure it wasn't ectopic. But I wasn't about to do that because I just wanted to, I guess, make sure everything was okay. Sorry, guys. My husband called through. So what happened was, okay, where was I? Okay, so she's just telling me all this stuff that is kind of making me feel way worse. And I left there and I felt so, I guess I felt so empty, and I felt so hurt, and I cried. I cried in front of her. It was just horrible. Like, okay, so I walked home and I came back again 2 days later, and my levels actually went down to 508 from 520 something, I believe it was. It went down. So that really broke my heart because, usually once your numbers start going down, that's a miscarriage. So she, the doctor started crying when she had to tell me. It was very emotional. It was really not a good experience. So I had to get a procedure called the MVA, which is they take like this vacuum and they try to vacuum out your uterus. They wanted to do it to see if there was any tissue in it from a baby or a miscarriage or anything. Because my levels were still pregnant, my pregnancy test was still pregnant, everything was still pregnant. They didn't do another ultrasound. And honestly, I feel like I gave up, and I feel like I I honestly feel like I made a selfish decision. I feel like I could have maybe waited and maybe things will get better. And I know that I'm in denial, but that's just how I felt. I felt like maybe, a miracle could happen and my numbers will go up and I won't have to go through this. But the guy, he did it that day, the same day. Um, it was really horrible. It was the worst experience. Like, I don't judge anyone, but it had me think about people who go and they just get abortions more than once, that hurts. It hurts. It upset me. I had so many different things going through my head, and mainly I'm just like, so many women just give up their baby like this, and I'm losing mine. I lost mine. I didn't know what was happening. So then I got a phone call. The healing process, it was pretty crampy and painful. The procedure was very painful. It felt like somebody was just stabbing you with daggers constantly. It felt like the worst period cramps in your life. It was horrible, pretty much. Anything going into your cervix is going to hurt, just like something coming out. So a few days later, after the weekend, it was horrible. I was so stressed out. I was crying every single day. And I'm just telling my husband, I'm like, why me? Like, I'm such a good mother to the kids I have now. And you have so many people out there, they don't even want their kids. It was horrible. So they called me, the doctor who did my procedure, actually, he called me. And he told me there was no tissue in the procedure that I had. But during those days that I spent at home healing, I did pass like a really big blood clot, like an abnormal sized one. I didn't go and look at it. I didn't even go to the hospital. I didn't care. I didn't have any feelings about anything. I didn't care what happened to me. I didn't care about anything. So when he said that, I'm like, was that my baby that I passed after the procedure? Because I was having the worst cramping ever that day. Those 2 days leading up to that clot, I was having the worst cramping ever. It was horrible. But once I passed that clot, all of that stopped. It was just regular cramps, like, regular light cramping, and the spotting got lighter and lighter and lighter until it stopped. So I went in and they had to do another ultrasound and everything. They took my levels. My levels were going back to normal. They were at 11. So I was no longer pregnant. But the part that bothered me was that the procedure didn't take my baby out. My baby came out after the procedure. So I'm like, should I have waited? Could things have been okay? And I know that things might not have been okay, but it was just, I don't know, it was horrible. And it was so much uncertainty. And I felt a way about myself. I felt like I didn't wait long enough. I also felt like, if I was going to miscarry, I would miscarry on my own. If it was ectopic, eventually I would find out. I felt so many things. I had so many what ifs, so many things running through my head. So it was horrible. And the healing process was horrible. That procedure was horrible. the emotions was horrible. Everything about it was just horrible. So I don't know, like, and I still think about it, or still every day think about it. I still wonder, like, what if, and did I make the right decision? Should I have just waited? If I would have waited, would things have been different in any way? I don't know. I know my levels were going down, but for some reason I feel like maybe they would have gone up. I don't know. And, after that time, I got so upset. And, I got upset with God. I did. And I'm not gonna lie. I was upset at the world. Even now, I see all these pregnant people on my timeline and outside, and it bothers me. It really bothers me. I don't like it. I have invites to places like baby showers and stuff like that, and it upsets me. I don't want to go there. I don't want to deal with anything that has to do with any children. Not any children, but any pregnant people. I'm just, I feel away, because I was so excited, and it all just got taken away from me that quick, within less than a week. I probably told people that I was pregnant that same week. So it's like, I wish no one had to go through that. And I feel like if you could wait, then wait. If you're not in physical pain, or if you're not profusely bleeding, just wait. And I should have waited. I know it may not have been any better, or I may have still lost my baby, but I feel like for none of the tissue to even be in that sample, I wasted my time anyway. I was so upset. So, thank you all for watching. Bye.